welcome. We are here in the podcast studio today, joined on this beautiful, lovely, cold, slightly rainy Sunday. In the podcast studio today, we have a black god. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm better than yesterday. Always moving forward,
Better than most until you a ghost.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to be asking you just a few questions, trying to get into your mind, get to know yourself a little bit. Whatever you feel like sharing with us. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about life growing up? What was that like for you? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the deep south, Florida area, Orlando specifically. What was it like? I wouldn't say Orlando is a great place to grow up for people who have bigger dreams and goals in life, I would say. Or, whatever you desire, mostly, out of life. I don't think it could, necessarily be found in Orlando unless you are raised that, the Orlando type of way. I necessarily wasn't raised by Orlando people, so they kind of raised me differently, and I kind of sought out to seek something else that I couldn't find in Orlando.
So your parents weren't from Orlando?
My mom is, but she would always visit New York every summer, and my dad's from the Bronx, so he kind of grew up with a whole nother mindset and way of living. He never really liked Orlando, so it kind of made me dislike it a little bit myself.
Did you travel to New York City at the time when you were younger?
I never left the state until I was 18.
And what made you leave?
Well, I wanted to go to New York because, like I said, my dad raised me, so he always planted that idea in me to go there someday and see what it's like and shit like that. And as I got older, I started connecting with more people throughout the social media environment that also lived out there. So it kind of made me want to go there and just see what it's about, It seemed like they had more people that were similar to me.
Is that what excited you about the city, getting to know the people, or was it something else that attracted you, that made you go, you know what, I'm going to go to New York City, I'm going to go check it out?
Well, when I was younger, I always knew I was going to go to New York City. I never knew what age I would go there, but the people that were there definitely seemed like they were more like me, so that made me want to go. And I also saw a lot of opportunity that came along with the people that lived there, which also kind of drove me to want to move.
Where else have you visited?
I've been to Los Angeles. I lived there for about 2 years. I've been to Atlanta when I was young. I think I was about 18 or 17, but I never lived there.
Okay, so you're raised in Florida. What is your heritage or your background?
I'm not actually too sure whether my dad or my mom is the African, actually, but I know both of them have African in them, and it's a mixture of Nigerian, Ghanaian, Liberian, some other shit. I think my mom has a little bit of European in them, just like every African American, but well, yeah, a lot of African Americans do, but there are some pure Africans that are probably in America that have been here for a while, but that's another topic. But yeah, I think that's all that I'm made up of. I was born in America, so that's kind of all I really know.
Do you like America?
From my experience, I can't say I do.
Okay. What inspires you to live every day when you wake up?
what inspires me to live every day when I wake up. Um, Being able to witness
New York City sound.
being able to witness the metamorphosis that I go through every day with the change of trying to become a better person than I was the day before.
So each day when you wake up, it's about becoming better, a better you.
Yeah, just kind of putting myself in a position to grow. Yeah. Oh.
I like that. Cocooning and a butterfly.
Yeah.
What was love like the first time you experienced it? Your first love. Can you take us back?
It's indescribable, unimaginable.
Why is that?
Um, because it's a feeling that you never really feel or know exists until you encounter it. It's not something you can see or like hold on or take with you. It's just something that's in you, and it's controls you, controls the way you think, controls the way you feel. It controls a lot of you. Once that heart chakra is opened up, it's pretty crazy.
Why do you feel like it controls you?
Well, because love can drive people to do certain things that they wouldn't like to, or wouldn't think is, I guess, logical.
You think it's an out-of-body experience to be in love?
I could say that it's so divine that we can't even really give it a real definition, so it definitely has to come from an outer place or an outer world or something.
Okay, so I want to know what are the keys to success, and can you share a few of them with us? What are your own keys?
I believe the keys to success starts from within. I feel you have to be successful from within inside yourself, instead of before you can try to seek success outside yourself. For example, just becoming not so much egotistical, but kind of aware of who you actually are and who you actually want to be, and having comfort and an understanding of yourself and feeling okay with all of that, before you try to go after something.
So the key to success, you're saying, is self-awareness, and then being comfortable with yourself and confident.
Being comfortable, confident, and understanding of who you are, and yeah, exactly. Pretty much all of that. I just feel like success starts from within. You have to have some type of balance. Because if you're out of balance with yourself, how could you create balance outside of that,
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. I just feel like in order to leave a mark on the world, you have to first be the mark yourself.
How would you say this generation is now in 2022 compared to 100 years ago in 1922? Post-World War, apocalyptic, catastrophic catastrophes everywhere. What do you think?
100 years ago, I would say 100 years ago we had less amounts of younger people. So I feel like this world that we're living in now, compared to before, is being controlled by that. So whatever the youth wants is what will come, and that comes along with a lot of things we probably wouldn't agree on. like the overconsumption of technology. I feel like that's definitely the new way of life. You know, we become a product of an industrial civilization that's being controlled.
Are you a product of Apple?
I believe we all are. We need it just as much as it needs us.
Yeah, we depend on technology. In the 1920s, they did as well for the like industrial revolution,
Right.
and all the factories to produce things.
Yeah.
Do you think we over rely on robots and technology to aid us?
Yeah, I think it's detrimental to over rely on anything, especially technology, considering the fact that whatever it is you do put your focus into, that's the type of world you live in. So if you're living in a device, you become a device.
Yep, gotta have balance.
Exactly. So with that being said, we pretty much are a natural reaction to an industrial civilization, us becoming just pretty much computerized and dehumanized and, you know, less stimulated.
So how do you stimulate yourself in the modern day?
I expose myself to things that don't involve technology, like natural, holistic ways of life. I would say, like exposing myself to nature, going out and thinking and meditating and walking around, just kind of being active. I feel like everyone lives in such a closed environment, a closed world. Everything is just covered up.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not exposed enough.
How do you feel about the treatment of black people now, 2022, compared to 1922?
I feel like there's not much of a big difference, considering I do believe that we've been affected the same way for a very long time. It's more of like a psychological warfare now.
Deeply rooted and embedded in us. That's what I believe.
What'd you say?
I believe it's a psychological warfare that's deeply enrooted and embedded into us in society.
Exactly. I believe they've established an organized way to control us to a way of pretty much
thinking, asserting, and being.
Exactly. You know, so if you control
the way
the
you
mind,
think, your actions.
Yeah, if you can control the mind, you
how
can
you live your life.
Control anyone's life.
You control the mind with entertainment, the things you indulge in, TV, technology.
Definitely society.
Get rid of all evil.
TV. Yeah, I feel like it's it's almost bigger than just black people now. It's like everyone really being destroyed.
Yeah, psychologically.
Exactly.
All right. Can you also tell us, how did you get your name, ablackgod? What did that develop from in the root?
Ablackgod came from individuals I was hanging around when I was growing up. So there were a couple people that I knew that were kind of on this spiritual, I would say, journey or path. We're just awakening ourselves in that aspect. We started kind of looking at ourselves as one another, you know? So we would kind of like come to this understanding that we do have a higher self, and what that is could be something of, kind of godly, kind of godlike, I would say. So we started calling ourselves, addressing each other as gods, but not from an egotistical standpoint. It was more to humble ourselves and know that we are equal and capable of doing what each one of us can do.
I'm into that. Thank you. ablackgod joined us in the studio tonight. Thank you for coming through, sharing the vibes.
Thank you.